Yeah, a very good morning. We will wait for 1 to 2 minutes, then we will start our session. Okay, so we will start. Some of them will join later, I think. Um in the previous lecture, we will discuss about uh, the direction of the magnetic field rotation. Okay, so if I want to reverse the direction of the magnetic field rotation, okay, so what we will do? Okay, that means suppose we have three different coils. Okay, so we have an interchange of a two coils among the three coils. Then the direction that will reverse, okay, in a direction of a magnetic field rotation for the four pole machines, right? So the four pole machine having a four different significant poles, one to north pole and to the south poles. Okay, so that thing we will discuss in the previous lecture, and what will be the net magnetic flux density that will be changes when I will reverse the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, so that thing also we will discuss in the previous lecture, right? So today our discussion topics is the magnetomotive force. Okay, so what is exactly the mmf, okay, and the flux distribution of any such kind of AC machine, right? So these are the discussion points we will discuss these things today. So before discussing on this particular platform, okay, so what are the previous lecture we will discuss? So that thing we will summarize these things. Okay, so I will share my screen so that you will able to see what we will did already in the previous lecture, right? So I will share my screen so that you will able to see. Yes, is my screen is visible to everyone? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Yes, sir. Fine, fine. So, in the previous lecture, we will discuss about the reversing the direction of the magnetic field rotation. Okay, so for that cases, if it will be the counterclockwise directions, so for that cases we are having a B net values. Okay, that means the net magnetic field. Okay, so the net magnetic field when the direction, if the direction, if the direction is counter clockwise, if the direction is counterclockwise, okay, so for that cases what will be my net magnetic field? Okay, what will be my net magnetic field? My net magnetic field that will be defined as a, suppose, b net t, that is equals to 1.5 bm sine of omega t x mod minus 1.5 bm cos of omega t y vectors. Okay, because we are emphasis on the x-axis and along the y-axis, right? So if the direction is on a counterclockwise, then if we will reverse the direction, if we want to, if we want to reverse the direction, one second, some of them is coming, I think. So if I want to reverse the direction, that means the rotation should be clockwise. Okay, so for that cases, what will be my net magnetic field? One second, Suraj Mandal. Okay, so what will be my net magnetic field? So the my main net
That's
magnetic
plus.
field, yes, this is plus. Okay, so my B net T, that is 1.5 bm sine of omega t x vectors plus 1.5 bm cos of omega t y vectors, right? So over here we will changes the sequences. Okay, that means at a particular time, okay, the magnetic field, whatever the magnetic field we will see over here, and whatever the magnetic field we will see over here, okay, so there must have a same magnitude. Okay, so magnitude must be same in both the cases, right? But as it is rotate in a clockwise directions, okay, so it may happen the direction, okay, or the angles that may differ. So therefore we can say that the switching the current into this two stator phase, okay, that will reverse the direction of the magnetic field rotation of any such kind of AC machine. Okay, so that thing we will discuss in the previous lecture. What my observation is from this particular equations, so suppose this is my equation 1 and this is my equation 2, so from this two equation, okay, so what I will conclude that the magnitude should have the same if I will change the directions, but it may happen that the direction and as well as the angle can differ, okay, when we have reversed the direction of a particular rotating magnetic field, right? So that is actually I already told in the previous lecture. Okay, so today we will on the basis of this particular magnetic field rotation, okay, we have finding the two things, okay, two very important things. One is the magnetomotive force, another one is a flux distribution of a AC machine, right? So the topics is on the basis of this particular solution. Okay, our Now today's topics is the magnetomotive force, which will be also called as an MMF, and flux distribution. Flux distribution on a AC machine, right? So that thing we will discuss, which will be the very important topics. So in this particular section, that means the magnetomotive force and the flux distribution of a AC machine, the flux that will produce inside the AC machine. Okay, so whatever the flux during the operation, whatever the flux that will be produced inside the AC machine, that will be treated as if it were in a free spaces, because if we will considering this is a stator and this is a rotor, so there must have some gaps in between the stator and the rotor segment will be there. Okay, so there whatever the flux that will be produced, that will behave what will be the air gap density, okay, of a in between the stator and the rotor segment. Okay, so the direction of the flux density that will produced by the coil of the work, okay, that will assume that it will be perpendicular to the plane of the coils, okay, with the direction of the flux given according to the rule of the right hand rule. Okay, so if I will considering the flux in a real machine, okay, if I will considering the flux in a real machine, that does not behave in a simple manner. Okay, so as you also we will see that in case of a real machine design, okay, when we have designing any such kind of a practical machine, so when during the designing of the practical machine, the inside the practical machine, the flux that cannot be behaved like a simple manner. Okay, so there is a ferromagnetic rotor in the center of a machine, okay, with a small air gap between the stator and the rotor, and due to this particular air gap, and there must have a different type of structure of the rotor. Okay, either it should be the cylindrical structure or it should be the non-salient pole structures. Okay, so depending upon the structure of the rotor segment, okay, the flux and the ferromagnetic behavior of the rotor, that will react. Okay, so the ferromagnetic rotor in the center of the machine, when we will design any such kind of real time of machine, so with a very small air gap that will be located in the rotor and the stator segment, in between the rotor and the stator segment. So the rotor, whatever the as per the design aspect is concerned, the rotor that can be cylindrical. Okay, so when it should be considered as a cylindrical rotor, so for that cases I have okay, sorry. Okay, so for that cases we have a draw two figures. Okay, one is for the non-salient poles rotors, and one is considering for the salient pole rotors. Okay, so I have to draw the two figures. Okay, for a AC machines. Okay, so having a practical AC machines with a cylindrical, or we can say that the non-salient pole rotor, and then AC machine having a salient pole rotor, and what are the different aspect according to the design concept is concerned of a rotor. Okay, so our flux density and as well as the flux distribution and the mmf, that will be changes according to the design aspect of the rotor, either the rotor that may be designed like a cylindrical, or the rotor that will be designed as a salient pole rotor. So for that we have a draw a two figure for distinguish between the cylindrical, that means distinguish between the non-salient pole rotor and the salient pole rotors. Okay, so first I have to draw the non-salient pole rotor, and then I will draw the salient pole rotor, and we will distinguish between the two different type of design aspect of a rotor, right? Okay, so I have to draw first, then I will discuss in a brief. Okay, so for that cases, first I have to draw, then I will discuss this thing. Okay, so No. Yes. Yes. Now I have. So we are considering the two-pole machine over here. Someone is coming, I think. Okay. And in the figure B, we will considering four-pole machines. So we are having a 12 different coils. Okay. So over here, we are considering. Okay. And one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, and 12. Right? Okay. So, so this is my figure A, and this is my figure B, right? So over here also we are doing like this. So this figure that will be signify an AC machine. This figure will be signify AC machine with a cylindrical or a salient pole rotor. Okay, and this particular figure that will be signify a AC machine with a salient pole rotor. Okay, so this segment we are considering this particular segment, the structures that will be considering as my rotor, which will be the cylindrical in a structures, okay, which will be the cylindrical in structures, okay, and this is actually the rotor which will be having a salient type of structures, which will be having a suppose a salient pole if the rotor has a pole face projected out from it. Okay, so this is the head where which will be this will be out from the particular cylindrical surface. Okay, so if the rotor during the construction has a pole face, so suppose this is considering as a pole face. Okay, so if the rotor has a pole face that will be projecting out from it, okay, out from the cylindrical surface, okay, which will be projected out from the cylindrical surface, okay, out from the cylindrical surface, then the machine is said to be a salient pole. Okay, but if the cylindrical rotor or the non-salient pole rotor, so if the rotor is a cylindrical, just like as a figure A, okay, if the rotor is cylindrical, the machine is said to have a non-salient pole rotor, salient pole rotor over here in the figure A, and this is a salient pole rotor, because the pole face, okay, of a particular rotor, okay, the pole face of this particular rotor that will be projected out from the cylindrical surface. Okay, that will be projecting out from the cylindrical surface. So that type of machine is actually called a salient pole machine, right? And the cylindrical rotor or the cylindrical rotor, this one in the figure A, the cylindrical rotor and the non-salient pole machine, okay, is called the having a cylindrical rotor, it is called the non-salient machine, or we can say it's a cylindrical machine according to the design aspect of the rotor is concerned. Okay, so we can say that the cylindrical rotor in the figure A, the cylindrical rotor or the non-salient pole machine are very much easier to understand, okay, because of the easier construction of a cylindrical rotor. Some of them is coming, I think. Okay, so yes, so due to the easier construction of this particular non-salient pole machine or the cylindrical machine, okay, according to the design aspect is concerned, so that we can say that the cylindrical rotor or the non-salient pole machine are very much easier to understand and analyze rather than the silent pole machine. And whatever the discussion we are just now discussing, we are main emphasizing on the cylindrical rotor rather than the silent pole rotor. The construction of the silent pole rotor. Okay, so the construction of the silent pole rotor that will be discussed in the module, in the next module. Okay, so in this particular module, our main emphasis on the cylindrical rotor, okay, or the non-silent pole machine, right? So we have discussing the constructional principle, okay, and what will be the mmf and the flux distribution of a non-silent pole machine or the cylindrical machine. And in the module, next module, we have a discussion of a silent pole machine, just like as an induction motor, okay, synchronous motor. So that thing we will discuss in the synchronous machine. Induction machine is also a one type of a silent pole machine having a rotor construction of a not the cylindrical surface. Okay, so that thing we will discuss, that means the working principle and the flux distribution, how the flux that will distribute it in the induction machine and the synchronous machine. Okay, so that thing we will discuss in the next module. Okay, so in this particular module, we have an emphasis on the non-silent pole machine having a cylindrical rotor. Okay, so the cylindrical rotor machine, okay, so we can say that the reluctance of the air gap. So that means supposed to be, this will be my stator segment over here. Okay, so this is my stator. Okay, so I will giving the green color over here. So this segment we will considering a stator surface having a different winding arrangement, right? So in this particular stator and the rotor, we are having a air gap between these two. Okay, so the reluctance, okay, of the air gap in between the stator and the rotor. So this particular segment that will be considering a air gap portion. Okay, this particular segment that will be considered. Okay, this particular portion that will be considered having a air gap between the stator and the rotor. So we can say that the reluctance of the air gap in the machine is much higher than the reluctance of the either of the rotor and the stator. Okay, so if the reluctance of the air gap is very much higher, so that the flux density vectors, okay, so that the flux density vector which is assumed to be b, okay, so b that will be considering a flux density vector, okay, flux density vector. Okay, so if the reluctance that will increase because the higher value due to the air gap of a particular machine, okay, so the flux density vector b takes in a shorter possible path. Okay, so this particular flux density vector which will be consist of a shorter possible path across the air gap, and it will jump perpendicular between the stator and the rotor surface. Okay, so for the production of a sinusoidal voltage in a machine, like we can say that the magnitude of the flux density vectors. So what will be the magnitude for the flux density vector, which will be assumed to be b, that must be vary according to the sinusoidal manner along the surface of a air gap. So due to the particular air gap between the stator and the rotor, we have considering the three different component. One is called the reluctance. Another, we have two quantities that we have measured, that means the flux density vectors, and also we have a concern of a sinusoidal voltage. So for the production of the sinusoidal voltage in a machine, the magnitude of the flux density vectors, that means the magnitude of the flux density vector, we can say that the magnitude of the flux density vectors that will be vary according to the sinusoidal behavior or the sinusoidal pattern along with the along with the surface of a air gap, okay, along with the surface of a air gap. So we can having a different quantity we have to be measure whenever we have considering the flux distribution of a non-salient pole machine or the cylindrical machine. Okay, so the flux density which will be considering as a b, okay, so the flux density that will vary sinusoidally only if the magnetizing intensity, okay, so which will be considering as a h, okay, so another quantities that will be considering a magnetizing intensity, okay, which will be considering as a h vector, magnetizing intensity vector. So this particular flux density b are very sinusoidally only if the magnetizing intensity h, the magnetizing intensity h, or we can say the magnetomotive force, the mmf, okay, that will be varies in a sinusoidal manner along with the surface of the air gap. That means what we can say, that the flux density vectors that will be very sinusoidally if the magnetic intensity vectors that will be also be varies in a sinusoidal manner along with the surface of a air gap. Okay, so that particular characteristics we can also be told as a uh, bh curve. Okay, right, bh curve पढ़े थे ना तुम लोग? Yes, bh curve पढ़े थे ना?
ट्रांसफॉर्मर कहते हैं सर।
Transformer. So in case of a transformer, we are told that it's a BH curve. But in case of a machine, we are considering B as a flux density vectors and the H has a having a magnetizing intensity. So for that cases, so we are considering H of, so we are having a three different coils, A dash, B dash, and the C dash. So for that cases, we are finding the magnetic intensity vector for h a dash t at a particular time. We are finding the b dash t at a particular time, and we are finding out the h of c dash t at a particular time. So from there we are finding out the total magnetizing intensity. Okay, that means the what will be the total magnitude of a particular magnetizing intensity, just like as the magnetizing field intensity we are finding for the three different coils. Okay, we are also finding for the a dash coil, we are finding the flux densities also b of a dash, we are finding b of b dash, we are finding b of c dash, right? So from there we are finding out for the different coils we are finding the flux density. So we are assuming that, okay, the total flux density, okay, that will be very sinusoidally only if the magnetizing intensity vectors which will be signing as a h, okay, that will be varies sinusoidally if only the magnetizing intensity will be very sinusoidal manner along with the surface of the air gap, right? So we can say that when we will achieve the sinusoidal variation of a magnetomotive force, that means our discussion is on a magnetomotive force or the flux distribution of an AC machine. So our main emphasis on to achieve the sinusoidal variation, okay, of a magnetomotive force along with the surface of the air gap that will distribute it with a turn of a winding that will produce the magnetomotive force. Okay, that means that if we are achieve the sinusoidal variation, that if we will observe the sinusoidal variation of the mmf, okay, along with the surface of the air gap, which will be distribute along with the turns of the windings, the whatever the winding arrangement that will be established in the stator body, okay, that will produce the magnetomotive flows, and that will be closely spaced slot around the surface of a machine, around the surface of a stator of the machine, and that will vary the number of the conductor of the each slot. Okay, because we are considering over in the two pole machine, we are in the figure a, we are considering a two pole machine, the two pole machine having a six different slots of a conductors. So that particular mmf, magnetomotive force, that will vary the number of the conductors in the each slot in a sinusoidal manner. Okay, so the magnetomotive force that will resulting from the winding arrangement of a particular stator. Okay, so the number of the conductor in each slot is given by some equations. Okay, so what are the equation is, so we are only emphasis on the non-salient pole machine, that means we are considering the figure A only. So according to the figure A, the number of the conductors in each slot that will be given by some equations. So what the equations is? So equations is, okay. So I will stop the screen share and I will again share the another screen so that there will be no space for that. Okay, so 1 second. Yes. So I will share the screen. Yes. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Fine. So for considering a cylindrical motor, AC motor, for the cylindrical AC motor, or we are considering a non-salient pole AC motor. Okay, so we are having a number of conductors in each slot. So we are considering over here a two-pole machine. So the two-pole machine having a six different slots. Okay, so six different slots we are considering of a conductor. Okay, of a conductors. So if we are considering the four-pole machine, so we have a 12 different slots that will be considering for the conductors, right? So the number of conductors, what we can told that number of conductors the number of conductors in each slot is given is given by is given by NC, that is equals to capital NC into cos of alpha. Okay, so this will be the very important equation whenever we have to design of any such kind of rotor of a cylindrical AC motor. Okay, so whenever we have to design a cylindrical rotor, okay, or the non-salient rotor, okay, non-salient rotor according to the design aspect is concerned. Okay, so we have to consider the total number of conductor in each slot. That means for the designing we have to take it into consideration this equation for the design purpose of a any such kind of non-salient pole rotor. So how much number of slots and the how much number of conductor that will be present in each slot, for that we have to measure or we have to finding using this equations. This is equation of a number of conductor of each slot for designing of a cylindrical rotor or the non-salient pole rotor, where we can say that the capital NC is a number of conductors. The capital NC is actually, 1 second, someone is coming, I think. Yes. So this capital NC is actually the number of conductor. This is actually the number of conductor at an angle 0 degree. Okay, so if I will draw this particular figure for that, okay, that means the distribution of the conductor that will produce a closed approximation to the a sinusoidal distribution of an mmf. Okay, so for that cases we have to draw the figure for that. Okay, so a figure that will be look like this. Okay, so if I will draw the figure, okay, so yes, so figure will be look like this. Okay, so we have a three different. So this one, yes, then the another circles we are considering, and another circle. Yes. Okay. So if I will considering this one is my stator, this portion is my stator. Okay. Uh, this is my the rotor. This means this one, this portion is the rotor. Okay, and in between the stator and the rotor, okay, this is my air gap. Okay, so how could I signify these things? So air gap should be like this. Okay, so suppose this is, okay, suppose, so this is will be the air gap portion. Okay, so if it will be the center of the points, okay, so for that case, yes. So this section, this angle, that will be treated as alpha. Okay, and this equation that will be consist the Bm, the total magnetizing field. Okay, so that will be considered as B. Sorry, B is equal to Bm sine of alpha. Okay, so this particular angle that will be consist as a cos alpha. Okay, so here we are considering over here that the NC, that will be the number of conductor at an angle of 0 degree. Okay, so if we will see the sinusoidal aspect of a particular HS and the BS, okay, of a stator side, that means if I will draw a cylindrical rotor, okay, with a sinusoidal varying air gap flux density, and we will also be drawing the magnetomotive force or the magnetizing field intensity as a function of an angle alpha, okay, the function of an angle alpha, okay, in a particular air gap, and we have considering the flux density as a function, okay, the flux density B as a function of a angle alpha, flux density B is as a function of alpha in the air gap. Okay, so for that cases, if I will draw the sinusoidal representation, okay, of varying a air gap flux density. Okay, so for that cases we have a sinusoidal behavior like this. So this particular figure that we will considering for Hs intensity vectors, magnetizing intensity, okay, and the mmf, okay, and this particular that is considering for the fields, total magnetic flux density vectors, okay. So for that case, and if that will be taken into consideration as a in respect of alpha angle, which we show over here, okay, so there must have a sinusoidal behavior that we will taken into consideration, okay. So this will be supposed to be a midpoint over here, okay. This one is the midpoint, okay. So suppose uh, this is supposed to be the figure A, this is figure B, and this is my figure C, okay. So this figure A, that will be signify a cylindrical rotor, okay, because the rotor that will be cylindrical with a sinusoidally varying air gap, okay, with a sinusoidal varying air gap, because this portion we are considering as a air gap portion, right? We are considering the air gap portion having varying a air gap flux density. Okay, and this particular figure that will be signified, the figure B. Okay, the magnetomotive force. Okay, the MMF. Okay, or the magnetizing intensity. Okay, as a function of the angle, as a function of the angle in a air gap, okay, which will be very sinusoidally, and if the magnetizing intensity is varying sinusoidally, then automatically what I already told, that the flux density vectors, okay, which will be also be varying sinusoidally as a function of the angle alpha in a air gap. Okay, so that is actually the relationship, okay. So often for the convenient for the machine designer, so whenever we have to design any such kind of rotor, okay, according to that, the convenient for the machine designer to include the equal number of conductors in each slot instead of varying the number of the conductors accordance of a particular equation. So whenever we have to design any such kind of cylindrical rotor, so the designer that will always be include the equal number of conductors for considering a simple design aspect, okay, rather than they are varying the number of conductors of a slot that will be varied. So the winding of the type, okay, so winding of the different type that will be arranged, okay, which will be very much stronger higher order harmonic component than the winding design aspects, okay. So there must have a different design aspect is concerned, but in practice it is not been possible to distribute the winding exactly according to what will be the slot number, okay, what will be the number of the conductor in each slot. According to that, it will be not possible to distribute the winding exactly, okay, whatever the slot that will be assigned for the rotor design, okay. So since there are a finite number of the slots in a real type of machine, and we can also say the integral number of the conductors, the integral number of the conductors can be includes in each slots. So that what will result? So that will resulting the magnetomotive force that will be distributed only the approximately sinusoidal. Okay, so the distribution of the intensity vectors, okay, magnetizing intensity and as well as the magnetic flux density vectors, so that resulting the magnetomotive force, which will be approximately sinusoidal, not exactly sinusoidal, okay, which are having a higher order harmonics component in this sinusoidal behavior, okay, which are having a higher order harmonics component that will present in this sinusoidal behavioral aspects. Okay, so the fractional pitch winding that will we can use. Okay, we can also use the fractional pitch windings that will be used to suppress this unwanted harmonic components, because in any system, if the harmonic is present, which will be the higher order, that will be affect the operation of any such kind of rotor design, or the in case of a design aspect, the harmonic component, if any such kind of harmonics is there, so there must have some disadvantages according to the design aspect is concerned. To overcome this harmonic component, we can also use the fractional pitch winding, okay, that will be used for the design of a rotor to suppress the unwanted harmonics component, okay, inside whenever we have to design any such kind of rotor, right? So in that case we can say that the AC machine that will be distributed according to the stator winding design that will produced by the sinusoidal varying air gaps density, okay, as well as the number of a conductor in each slots that will be indicated, okay, according to the sinusoidal behavior of a HS and as well as the BS. So the magnetomotive force that will be distributing resulting according to the windings compared with the ideal distributions, right? So in that case we have considering the figure for the magnetomotive force distribution resulting from the windings. So if I will considering the magnetomotive force, so this particular figure, this B figure, that will be compromising the magnetic field intensity, which will be the sinusoidal behavioral aspect. So if I will draw the magnetomotive force distribution resulting from the windings, okay, so how would it look like and how it will be compared according to the ideal distribution is concerned, right? So for that cases we have to draw like this. So we have a drawing like this, again, like this, okay. So suppose this segment is a 60, this is my 120, and suppose this portion, we can say whatever the portion, this will be 180, here also it is 240, 300, and this point is 360. Okay, so there must have a 360-degree rotation in the negative segment and the 180-degree rotation of a particular MMF, according to the values of the alpha angle, which will be consist of that. Okay,
Sir,
so
sir, one doubt I have.
yes, tell me.
Sir, alpha is the angle between uh,
Hmm.
flux density and sir.
Alpha is the angle between flux density and, tell me, according to the figure is concerned. According to the figure is concerned, okay. That means what is written over here? B is equal to Bm sine alpha. Okay, you see these two equations. Okay, Nc is equal to Nc cos alpha, and you will see this equation B is equal to Bm sine alpha. Okay, so okay, now you can tell the angle between this alpha is between which, this one and this one. So what this particular line will be signifying, and what this line that will signify, यही तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन है ना?
सर फील्ड, यस सर, यस सर।
क्वेश्चन है ना? अच्छा, तो तुम सोचो अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस टू इक्वेशन ये क्या हो सकता है? तुम्हारा क्या आंसर होगा? एजम्पशन क्या है? बोलो। ये जो अल्फा
एयर
एंगल
गैप
है,
सर,
हाँ बोलो।
एयर गैप सर, सरफेस ऑफ द रोटर।
सरफेस ऑफ द रोटर एंड सरफेस ऑफ द रोटर एंड
सर सरफेस ऑफ द रोटर एंड फ्लक्स डेंसिटी सर।
surface of the rotor and the flux density. Yes, you can told these things. Okay, because according to the design aspect is concerned, we must have a concern of a surface of the rotor. Okay, so the surface of the rotor, either it should be cylindrical or it should be the non-cylindrical. So the angle between the surface of the rotor and the magnetic field intensity, okay, that will be changes if the design that will be changes. That means अगर रोटर का डिजाइन है, रोटर का डिजाइन नॉन साइलेंट डिजाइन है, तो उसका जो सरफेस होगा वो चेंजेस हो जाएगा. सो फॉर दैट केसेस आवर अल्फा दैट शुड बी चेंजेस, राइट और रॉन्ग?
यस सर, राइट।
Okay, so you are correct that it should be considered as a rotor surface and a magnetic field intensity. So the magnetic field intensity that will be depends upon the hs. Okay, so we can also say that the values of the alpha, the angle of alpha, that will be depends upon the surface of the rotor, the surface of the rotor, as well as the bs, okay, magnetizing field intensity vectors, and the hs also, the magnetizing intensity vectors, right? So the values of alpha, the angle that will differ according to the design aspect of the rotor, as well as the values of the magnetic field intensity, and as well as the magnetizing intensity of a particular rotor. Okay, so this value, the angle that will differ if we are using, the non-salient pole machine. Okay, so if I will considering the non-salient pole machine, supposed to be the induction machine, so for that cases the values of alpha that can be differ, okay, according to the values of what will be the values of bs and what will be the values of hs. Okay, because the AC machine, this must have some behavior that will distribute the stator winding. That means this segment that will be the stator. So the AC machine has a property that will have to distribute the stator winding according to the design aspect is concerned, and which will produce a nearly sinusoidally varying air gap flux density. So the values of alpha, that means the values of alpha that will be compromising with the rotor design. That means what, either it should be the cylindrical surface or it should be the non-cylindrical surface, as also what will be the magnetic intensity vectors hs, and as well as what will be the magnetic total magnetic flux density, that will be bs. Okay, that means the magnitude of the flux density. Okay, so depending upon the three parameters we have a variation of the alpha and that is actually one design aspect of a AC machine rotor design. Whenever we have to design any such kind of AC machine with a distributed stator winding, okay, which will produce a nearly sinusoidally varying air gap flux density, so that the number of the whenever we have to design the rotor, the designer, okay, that will design a number of the conductor in each slot as a same, rather than they are changing the slot position. Okay, so the magnetomotive force, the mmf, okay, that will distribute it according to the number of the slots of a conductors for comparing a ideal distribution of any such kind of machines. So why should I do the process? Because in a system, whenever the system that will be behave, okay, like supposed to be some harmonics that will present. So if the harmonics is present, there must have a disturbances in a system. Okay, so to remove the harmonics, okay, so design we have to design the windings in a such a way so that we have to remove the unwanted harmonic components from the magnetomotive force. Okay, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for that cases we have a another. Now in the next segment, we have to, whenever we have a discussion of a induced voltage in a AC machine. Okay, so according to the design aspect is concerned, we are considering the three phase set of current. Okay, because we are considering the three different coils. Okay, supposed to be a dash, we are considering b dash, we are considering c dash. So for considering a induced voltage in a AC machine, okay, so we have to consider the three different a set of current windings in a stator that can be produced a rotating magnetic field, which will produce a rotating magnetic field, okay, that can be produced a three phase set of voltage, which will produce a three set of voltages. Okay, so three set of voltages in a each and every coil of the stator. So the equation that will govern the induced voltage in a three-phase stator, that will be developed in each and every section. So to make this particular development is very much easier. So we will looking just as a single turn coils. Okay, or we can expand this particular coils like a three-phase stators. Okay, so according to the design aspect, so everything we are emphasizing on the design aspect only. Okay, so according to the design aspect is concerned, we have to finding out what will be the mmf and the flux distribution of an AC machine. We have a design aspect, we have to concern about the design aspect, and accordingly we have to finding out what will be the induced voltage for the three set of different coils. So for the considering the three set of different coils, we are having a three sets of voltages which will be produced for the coils of a stator. Okay, so what will be the induced voltage? Okay, net induced voltage inside the stator for the three phase coils. So that thing we will discuss in the next lecture. Okay, so I think okay, so is there any question till now?
यस सर।
Yes, tell me.
सर जो बी हम लोग लिखे थे फ्लक्स डेंसिटी वेक्टर,
Hmm.
तो फ्लक्स तो स्केलर है।
फ्लक्स स्केलर है?
हाँ,
हाँ, फ्लक्स स्केलर है। Then what is the problem?
डेंसिटी डेंसिटी भी स्केलर है,
डेंसिटी स्केलर है, हाँ।
तो फिर इसको वेक्टर क्यों बोलते हैं, फ्लक्स डेंसिटी वेक्टर?
Flux density, that means we have considering the magnitude ना. Okay, that is vector नहीं बोलते हैं, flux density, that means the magnitude of the flux density that will be tell as a magnetizing vectors. Okay, all are the scalar quantity, although it will be the scalar quantity. Okay, for finding the values of mmf, okay, and for the flux distribution of a AC machine, we are considering the flux density as a vector quantity. Okay, although it should be the scalar quantity for in any such kind of machine. So in case of a DC machine, we will know that it will be considered as a scalar quantity. Okay, it's not actually the vector. So whenever we have to finding the values of that means we are finding the magnitude, then we are signing the magnetizing field intensity as a vector. Okay,
तो
Deepak.
इसका डायरेक्शन कैसे निकालेंगे सर?
हाँ,
फिर इसका
किसका
डायरेक्शन कैसे निकालेंगे?
किसका डायरेक्शन?
बी का।
बी का डायरेक्शन अभी नहीं निकलना है तो, यानी कि तुमको बोले ना कि इन द प्रीवियस लेक्चर वी आर फाइंडिंग आउट द बी नेट. ओके, दैट मीन्स द नेट मैग्नेटाइजिंग फील्ड. Okay, that means for that the magnitude that will be same, and according to the angle is concerned, if the it will be the rotation that will be in anti-clockwise, then the direction that will changes. If it will be the clockwise direction, then the reverse direction that will be changes according to the position of the poles. Okay, if the pole that will be changes, or if we alter the connections, then we can changes the direction and as well as the angle, and according to the changes of the angle, the values of the b net, that means the magnetic flux, that will be changes. उसके लिए direction को identify करना that is not necessary.
ठीक है सर।
समझ गए? ठीक है. Okay, so I think any question? Okay, so in the next lecture we will discuss how the induced voltage in a AC machine, that will be that means what will be the induced voltage in a coil for the two pole stator machine, and what will be the induced voltage in a coil for the four pole stator machine. So that thing we will discuss in the next lecture. That means tomorrow, yes, tomorrow I have another class. Although I have a leave for the 2 days, so I will take classes on Monday. Okay, so so we will discuss in the next lecture that what will be the induced voltage in a AC machine for the two poles coils. Okay, two pole stator coil, and the for the four pole stator coil. Okay, so that thing we will discuss in the next lecture. Okay, so thank you everyone for participating, and you are requested to leave the session for today. Thank you. All are requested to leave the session for today. Yes, Prabhat Oraun, Vishal, Deepak, Deepa Kumari, you are requested to leave. Dipangshu Raja, Nehal Thakur. All are requested to leave. Deepa, Prabhat, Dipangshu, Vishal. Session is already done.